So, this is the much delayed part 5 of Frontier Fundamentals, but there could be no better time for it with the recent announcement of the Kickstarter project to create the long anticipated Elite 4, aka Elite Dangerous. I'm immensely excited about this, and I backed it as soon as I heard about it. It looks very promising, and I expect it to be as remarkable and ahead of its time as this game was. If you haven't already checked it out, there's a link in the description to the Kickstarter page. There's still time to back it at the time of this video's release, but don't forget to come back here when you're done. Anyway, in this episode, we're going to explore a bit beyond the core systems. There are a few interesting systems to see and opportunities for profit and raising our elite rating. I'll also talk a bit about the stars and planets we'll be visiting, both in the galaxy of Frontier and in reality. So after the combat episode, I returned to Sol, and I've been doing some safe trading to build up a bit of cash. A few trips smuggling narcotics from Wolf 359 to Sol have been very profitable, and now I've got over 67,000 credits, and this is enough to buy us a nice new ship and outfit it for the journey. When you buy a new ship, they always take your old one in part exchange. The equipment on board isn't taken into account though, so it's worth stripping your ship, which I've already done. The hyperdrive, however, is taken into account in the part exchanging, so you might as well leave that in. So go to the shipyard, go to new and reconditioned ships, and here you can see a list of the available ships, which will be different at each spaceport, and it's sometimes worth shopping around. The prices will be the same for each ship, but not all the ships will be available. It's kind of random. And you can see that a lot of these are way out of our price range. This insane number of credits here for the Panther Clipper, the coveted Panther Clipper. This enormous 2,000 ton ship. Yeah, this beast is virtually indestructible, and well, actually, pretty much if you outfit it with enough shield emitters, it is basically indestructible, unless you fly it into a star or something. Yeah, this beast is the biggest ship in the game, but we'll be going for something a bit more modest. There are some really worthless ships, like the Lifter, and this is kind of useless because it can't have a hyperspace drive, so they're just utterly pointless, and they would flesh it out a bit if you saw anyone else in these ships, but you know, same with the interplanetary shuttle, there's just no use for it whatsoever. I guess it's there just to sort of give the impression that it's a larger world than what we're seeing. These attack fighter type ships, I've never found them very useful. They are very agile and good at fighting, but they have so little space that they become quite impractical to actually use. There's also the Cobra Mark III, which is the ship of the first Elite game. You get a nice description of what this ship is capable of here, the thruster acceleration, the type of drive, and the hyperspace ranges and such, the gun mountings, missile pylons. The Adder is usually a good first option for a new ship after the Eagle. We don't have an Adder listed here, but it doesn't quite have enough space for everything I want to put in for this trip. Its thrusters aren't very good. It's also an ugly brick with thrusters, like a Vogon ship. It hangs in the air, much like bricks don't. So we're going to go with the snazzy Viper defense craft. It's got great acceleration, as you can see here, which is very useful in a fight. It's actually as agile as the Eagle despite being twice the size. So as you can see, it comes with a Class 2 hyperdrive, and down here you can see that this gives us a much better range than the 8 light years given in the Eagle. The range of the hyperdrive is highly dependent on the ship that it's in. For example, if we put a Class 1 hyperdrive in this, it would be virtually useless. We couldn't even get to Alpha Centauri. Another reason I'm going with this ship is because it has a fuel scoop mounting. You can see it there on the bottom. But we'll come to that later. But it is handy for exploring beyond the inhabited systems, because you can actually take fuel from gas giants directly, which is kind of cool. So let's click buy, and it's ours. Well, mine. Anyway, let's go back to upgrades and buy some equipment. We're going to want some atmospheric shielding, scanner, radar mapper, ECM system, also autopilot, a fuel scoop, and a 1 megawatt beam laser. This leaves us with 8 tons of cargo space. Now, unlike the Class 1 hyperdrive, this hyperdrive requires 4 tons of fuel for a maximum jump. So that will leave us with 4 tons of cargo space for cargo, in case you want to do some trading runs on the way, although it will mostly be a sightseeing trip. Outfitting your ship with a lot of cool stuff doesn't leave a lot of room for trading. Also worth noting is that the tank for the thruster fuel is twice the size. You can see here the thruster tank indicator here is at half. It comes half full or half empty. So let's go into the cargo hold and refuel our ship so we get it to a full internal fuel tank, and let's go back into the stock market now and top up again to 4 tons of hydrogen fuel. Now before we leave, there's a couple of packages I want to pick up. The first is here at New San Francisco. Let's find it. It's here somewhere. Ah yes, you can see payment of 4,740 credits for a small package. You know it's going to be dangerous with that kind of cost. Let's see, why so much money? There are some top secret Imperial documents in the package. Will there be any problems? Imperial agents may attack your ship. In fact, you can pretty much guarantee it. But in a Viper defense craft with a beam laser, this shouldn't be a problem for a skilled pilot. Like me. Or someone who can save and reload at will. Let's haggle with them a bit, see if we can get some more money. I want more money! Oh, that's all you can pay. What a coincidence. Let's see if we can get half the money. You'll pay half once we agree and half on arrival. Okay, let's go for it. Excellent. So this parcel is for the Groombridge 34 system, which is on the way on our sightseeing trip. Now, I've already scouted out the system, and there's another package which we'll need to pick up so that we can get a permit to go to one of the systems on our route. Van Maanen Star. The package for this is on the moon. So let's set a course for our lovely satellite here. It's actually in the orbiting space station here, Galileo, which aptly named. So let's launch and make our way to the moon. Seems so easy in the 33rd century, doesn't it? People haven't been to the moon for decades. Seems like we should go back, doesn't it? Anyway, let's set the autopilot and rush there. It's the work of moments. That's technology for you. So now we're docked, let's look and see if we can find the package that we need to pick up. And here it is. 560 credits for a small package to the Van Maanen Star. Let's do the standard questions. Why so much money? It's a duplication copy of the latest Dream card starring Jane Lloyd. I have no idea what that means. Will there be any problems? You might get some interest from the press, just ignore them. I've never seen this materialise, so just ignore the warning about ignoring them. Let's see if we can get more money. Nope. Usually you can only get more money after you've built up a reputation for delivering packages or people. Let's see if we can get half. You can usually get half, so there we go. Now this is important. If you are getting a package for the purpose of getting a permit, you do need to actually ask them for it. So let's ask, do I need a permit? And if so, can I have one? Oh, you've not been there? I'll arrange one. Thank you. Let's agree and hang up. And if we go here, we can see we have these 2 parcels ready to go. And we should also have, here we go, a Guardian's permit. I've also obtained a Ross 128 prison permit. I can't remember if I did that in a previous episode. Apologies for being stupid. But it was like over a year ago. Apologies again for being so damn tardy with these episodes. Now, since we are going to be at some risk or certainty of attack by Imperial agents, I'm going to use my extra 4 tons of cargo space to buy some missiles. Naval missiles are the best and usually worth getting. They're twice as expensive as homing missiles and a bit more expensive than smart missiles, but they're worth it. So let's get 4 of those. So let's start our trip. our first stop is Tau Ceti, which is here. It's 12 light years away approximately, so we could never have gotten there with this one jump in our old Eagle. And this jump requires 4 tons of hydrogen fuel. Like many stars in the local area, this is a real star. It's much like our Sun, a G-type star, but not quite as bright. Superman would have no trouble flying around here under Tau Ceti's yellow light. Anyway, let's leave this station and get ready to make our jump. Speed up time a bit so we won't be wasting time. And engage hyperspace. Now, as usual, it's a good... Oh dear, see, I've been immediately attacked the moment I've come out of hyperspace, so I'm going to save. And remember, coming straight out of save, if you just click... you want to make sure that you remain paused when you come out of save. So you can see a nice external view of our Viper, and let's see if we can see our enemy. There he is. Now we can use our radar mapper, and it's a Viper defense craft. I was expecting an Imperial Courier. Oh well, this shouldn't be too tricky then. Imperial Courier is perhaps one of the most dangerous, well probably in fact the... Oh wait a minute. I think I hit... There is another one. Oh no, that's a... I'm not sure. There's 3 hyperspace clouds. It means there might be 2 enemies I'm fighting. Yes, there are. Look at that. Those larger ones I think are asteroids. And you see the advantage of a beam laser? I can just have a continuous beam rather than having to rely on the pulses. Just like they can. Ah, there we go, a little bit of a hit there. You should be familiar with this from my previous episode, the combat episode. If not, then get a refresher. It has been a while. This is one of the things I hope is going to be somewhat improved, along with everything else in the new Elite game. I'm so looking forward to it, I can't even describe it. It's the game that I've been waiting for my whole life. Well, my whole life since having played Frontier. Because as great as this game is, there's a lot more that there's infinite potential. There's as much potential as there is in the galaxy, you know, and that's a lot of potential. It's very fiddly, but it's one advantage is you can sort of drag your oh god. Okay, let's pause and ECM, and it explodes. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Now, I believe this is the only situation in which you're attacked by more than one enemy at once, is in the either in this or the military missions, which we'll hopefully cover in a later episode. Who knows how long that will be, given my track record at this point. Yeah, these ships also seem to employ slightly different tactics than pirates do. They seem to keep their distance more effectively. They won't fly straight at you like nutters, which makes sense given that these guys are military, or indeed mercenaries. It's always the same. You can also see that they have a slightly strange code. They don't have the standard alphanumeric ID number. It's this sort of plus something, like a military code rather than civilian. I'm concentrating. Come on, come on. I want to get on with the sightseeing. There we go. And that should be the end of that. So, let's set a course for Taylor Colony, which is another M-class planet, if you will. I'm going to go for the orbiter so we can get a nice look at the planet from orbit. And I'll just skip the journey and meet you there.